Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Z Hervasio. In tonight's Game Plan, we'll break down the big wins of San Miguel Beermen and the TNT Tropang Giga over the weekend in the ongoing PBA Philippine Cup semifinals.
We'll also do a rundown of the thrilling five-setter matches in the 2022 PVL Invitational semis over the weekend. And we'll get to know the newest PVL foreign guest team, the KingWhale Taipei, in a whale of a tale. Buckle up, sports fans! Let's get in the game. We are in the thick of the PBA Philippine Cup semis, and this weekend saw a pair of big wins in favor of the San Miguel Beermen and the TNT Tropang Giga. Joining us to break down the matchups in both series is PBA analyst Coach Mark Molina. You two know each other?
Very well.
Yeah. It feels like I now know how you felt when my dad was here. It's not the same thing, but a bit similar. Coach, I want to start first with the San Miguel Beermen. Their win against Meralco, it was grinded out. It felt very long. They got to the free throw line a lot. What stood out for you in this matchup?
I really like the fact that it was CJ Perez who controlled the game from the tip-off. I think he had 13 points in the first quarter. Junmar took a step back. And then in the fourth quarter, when it became close, push came to shove, it was Junmar with the obvious advantage underneath who took over, got some free throws, scored 10 points in the fourth quarter, and put the game away. So this combination really working wonders for San Miguel.
CJ Perez making 26 points and Junmar Fajardo with 21. They're both the superstar pieces for their team. But who do you think has more impact?
Oh, ito tayo eh. Coach Mark and I had an argument about this recently. Pero Coach, okay, go. Let's see your take first.
It depends on who they are playing.
Okay.
We were talking about this earlier. In this game, it's obviously Junmar Fajardo in this series.
Okay.
In this series, because Meralco has nobody who can match up with Junmar, so they have to do a lot of things to help to defend him because a lot of their centers are not big enough to play against Junmar. So they need to scheme a lot against Junmar Fajardo. So Junmar, I agree with you, changes the game.
Yeah.
But going back to CJ, if they face a bigger team, for example, Apoy Eram with Token Tex, I think Poy Eram can play Junmar straight up, one-on-one. When that happens, CJ becomes the star. CJ, you will run a lot of pick and rolls with CJ. And if you look at the way San Miguel plays right now, they don't play. This is not San Miguel of 3 years ago.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
With the slow San Miguel team, this is a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of transition plays because of CJ Perez.
Okay, so you see, that was the point of our argument, but we're not going to go too deep. We're not going to go too deep into this one, Coach. Pero let's now look at Meralco. Kasi syempre, the score was relatively close, but then it didn't really feel that way. Mainly because towards the end of that ball game, medyo San Miguel just felt like they got the groove in what was, as we mentioned a while ago, grinding out game. What do you think they can build on based on what we saw? And we saw them throw so many looks at Junmar Fajardo. Nothing really stopped them in the second half.
Well, defensively, I thought they were okay in that game. I mean, and rebounding-wise, they're okay. I mean, any Norman Black coach team will do that.
Yeah.
But I think they need to be better on the offensive end. And I'm talking about they will need to attack Junmar Fajardo's defense on the pick and roll. That is, to me, the Achilles heel of San Miguel. If you can take advantage of Junmar Fajardo on the pick and roll defense of Fajardo, you'll have a good chance. The problem is their three centers, Almazan, Jose, Pascual, all shot poorly and could not finish. These guys need to score because pinababayaan sila eh. The focus of San Miguel when they attack Junmar Fajardo is to stop Newsome, stop Maliksi, stop Aaron Black. The centers are getting some easy baskets either rolling or from the perimeter, and they're not making shots. They need to, number one, take shots, and number two, to make those shots.
All right, I guess it's time to move on to the more exciting game over the weekend. Grabe, hanggang the last few seconds. Let's talk about TNT Magnolia game naman. What do you think happened? Can you run through the game for us, Coach
Well,
Mark?
everything happened in the last 17,
Everything,
17,
oh.
last
Last
17
17
seconds
seconds.
of that game. I mean, Jason Castro happened. I mean, this is what an excellent matchup, Castro and Barroca. I mean, both of them getting in their years already, but they showed what they can do with Mark Barroca with that go-ahead two-pointer. And then what I really love about that, I don't know if you have that. If you had that on camera, let's say after Barroca
Here.
makes that shot,
Yeah, no, this wasn't
the
this
first one.
It wasn't this one. But yes,
it was. Go ahead, Paolo.
no, because looking at how they did it, okay, so Mark Barroca got that from an inbound. Here it is, actually. So here it is, Mark Barroca let it
Look
to
at
the
Jason.
center fly.
Look at Jason. He wasted no time to get that ball from Arar Pugoy.
Yeah.
Because it could go to Mikey Williams.
Yep.
It could go to someone else. But with what Jason did, he got the ball, and Pugoy was even free on the right side.
Yep.
But Jason had all intentions to make that shot already.
There is a look that Jason Castro has that if he says, akin na yung bola,
Yep.
Bigyan mo na.
bigay mo na. And don't take it away from him because he's gonna do exactly what we just saw there. Again, it was crazy. It was hard stopping. Just looking at what the box score ended up being, Mikey Williams did not have the type of game that a lot of people expected from him. Pero panalo pa rin yung TNT. If you're Magnolia, how much are you scratching your head right now?
A lot. Really a lot. But before going to that,
Yeah.
about, I have to apologize to one person, Rome De La Rosa,
Ah,
because when the last time I was here, I said that that Magnolia doesn't have any matchup for Mikey.
Yeah.
And that's because in the finals last year, Rome De La Rosa did not guard him well. But
Yeah.
but Carlo Pamintuan pointed out to me that he reminded me that Rome wasn't 100% in that series. But
Yeah.
and now he has done a great job
Yeah.
on Mikey Williams. Now
And-
go ahead.
Sorry, and to add on to that point, Coach, because as we're talking about the guy defending Mikey Williams, after Rome De La Rosa, in that first half when he held Mike Williams, I think, to 3 points only in game number 2, they switched it up and changed the matchups. And then when, I'm so sorry I'm going to mention the name, when Mikey Williams saw Adrian Wong,
It's different.
and he just exploded, and
Yes.
it changed a lot of things. But then Mikey,
Absolutely.
going back to the defense here in game number 3, it got the job done, but still not enough for the win.
I don't think if you're Magnolia, if you're Coach Chito Tolero, I don't think you can devise a better game plan than what they did that game 2 and game 3. So the solution is really on the offensive end as well.
Yeah.
They need to get points from two people, Paul Lee and Gio Halalon. These two guys have been struggling in this series. Without their offense, there's no way Magnolia wins this.
And actually, that was the point that Z was going to bring up a while ago kasi how can Magnolia bounce back? But then you're looking at everything here, and you look at how Magnolia will try to adapt. What is sustainable from what we saw? Kasi it doesn't feel like stopping Mikey Williams is sustainable in the long run of the series.
Well, they've done it a couple of times. But you're right. Mikey's going to explode one way or the other here. The thing is that is really very disheartening. If you're Magnolia, you were able to stop Mikey in game 3, but you still lost. You were able to stop Arar Pugoy in game 3, but you still lost. You did so many good things on the defensive end in game 3, but you still lost. So it really has to come to some adjustments on the offensive end. Get Halalon going. Get looks more for Sanggalang, and then especially Paul Lee. Paul Lee has to come alive.
So, who wins this and how many games, Coach? Is the question. I will not ask you muna. Kasi syempre, ang hirap ng trabaho natin dito. We actually are at the venue. And if the players are watching, kawawa kami. Coach, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for coming on. And it's always a pleasure arguing with you on air. All right, Z.
All right, and after the break, we'll find out how Creamline Pool Smashers escaped with a hard-fought win against PLDT in the 2022 PVL Invitational Semis. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game.
welcome back to the game. The action continues to heat up in the heart of volleyball. It was nothing but an explosive weekend for the top 4 teams in the 2022 PVL Invitational Semis. The Cignal HD Spikers outlasted the Army Black Mamba Lady Troopers in 5 sets, while Creamline redeemed themselves versus a hot streaking PLDT team. Now let's break down these matches with my co-host Z Hervasio, who's putting on her PVL analyst hat. She had it on just a while ago. I was an anchor a while ago too.
put it back.
So let's.
I'm kidding.
I wish you had a hat. I legit wish you had a hat.
made one
Almost.
out of the
Next
scripts.
time. All right, so let's start off first with Cignal and Army. Just for those who are wondering for an update, we're gonna get the actual numbers here, but it looks like Cignal lost against Creamline just a while ago. Cignal versus Army here. They took Army out of contention to make it to the finals. Cignal have been up and down here recently, Z. But then what did you see from them in this matchup in particular?
I guess number one, let's point it out how in their last game in the elimination round, there were only 8 people.
Yeah.
9 on paper, but they're struggling somehow getting back to their groove.
Yeah.
Especially now it's the semifinal round where every game is very important. But what stood out, or who stood out in their last match against Army was Riri Meneses, which we missed so much. One of the best middle blockers in the last conference, definitely stepped up and made a lot of attack points, block points in their match against Army. 5-setter match. It could have gone either way, pero in the last few crucial moments, it was Riri Meneses who was very present for Cignal.
Okay, just for confirmation here, ito yung final score with that matchup against Creamline. Cignal losing that one 3-0, 25-17, 25-15, and 25-22. Still, technically speaking, in the race for the finals, but then it'll be tough. I'm not sure how the permutations are going to work. But let's move on muna to si Jove Gonzaga for Army, because Jove had to play earlier against our newest guest here in the PVL, and she did what she normally does.
Right.
Last time around against Cignal, 21 points and 8 excellent receptions. It's like she is ageless in the way that she performs. I mean, what more do we have to say about Jove Gonzaga?
I mean, she has been definitely the missing piece for Black Mamba Army, as she missed the last conference earlier this year, and now she's been producing the much-needed points for her squad. Well, it also helped, I guess, that she was with the national team for beach volleyball earlier this year. That's why she missed the open conference. And I guess, for me, honestly, beach volleyball helps for indoor.
Wala naman bias, no?
Wala naman bias,
Oo.
pero it really helps.
Yeah.
Cross-training. I mean, I guess kondisyon, and the widths kasi in beach volleyball, you really have to be more cerebral. And here, it just seems like she missed her teammates and she missed being back on the hard court.
Creamline against PLDT is the next one we're going to look at. Again, 5-setter here. PLDT.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
PLDT almost took this away.
Yes.
They basically had it at one point. And when you look at this this matchup here, are we surprised with how PLDT is performing?
Not naman surprised, but because we also saw the trend of how they're performing so far. In their last few games, talagang paangat yung laro nila. And, it's been the topic ever since how PLDT's been, gelling so well. Their chemistry is getting on point. As, we remember, they're actually a new team this year.
Yeah.
How a lot of the athletes of PLDT came from different teams, from different schools, and it was actually their missing piece in the last conference. Parang hindi pa sila buo maglaro. But now, seeing everybody playing well together, playing together as one, talagang a lot of exciting times for PLDT.
Creamline, on the other hand, again, they swept Cignal just a while ago. Are they peaking at the right time? Because we saw them in the eliminations a bit shaky from time to time. Again, they lost to PLDT, they lost to Cignal, but here they are looking really, really good and really, really informed going to championship run.
Actually, Pao, when I covered the game last weekend, madaming errors si Creamline. It's just that they recovered via their attack points, block points, and their hustle. I mean, they were already down 2-0, but I was telling Eric nga na parang, Eric, parang si Risa yung game changer in this set. Kasi, you know, they went back to their roots, their happy mentality, their
Yeah.
good vibes.
Yeah.
And, you know, before you know it, it was already the fifth set and the momentum was already on their side. I guess still a little bit inconsistent in that area, but, you know, their attack
Yeah.
points, block points, you know, efficiency in that area, they're consistent, but I guess now they have to manage their errors.
Well, against PLDT, really 50 points combined for Tots Carlos,
yes.
Gemma Calanza, and Eliza Valdez. And yeah, that's not a big surprise anymore, to be
Exactly.
completely frank. Pero Kyla Atienza, now moving on, her impact has been amazing as well. A few numbers here. She's ranked 6th amongst receivers for the semis. So what do you make of her impact in particular?
I guess that's the reason why also I chose her to be the best player in the last game. Kasi I saw how shaky their floor defense, their reception was. But you know, it was, kasi pag nakikita mo yung libero mo, lumilipad left and
Yeah.
right, front and back, you know, running up and down the court, you'll get that energy, you'll get that confidence. And you know, with Creamline and their history, that's, you know, what they need to turn things around. And just like that, that's what they actually did in their last game against PLDT.
So Creamline still have to go up against KingWhale, who we've had the privilege to cover in
Yes.
just a few moments, like a few hours ago rather. And when you look at that particular test and the brand of volleyball that we saw against KingWhale, what can we expect from Creamline going up against this particular team? Kasi syempre, everyone has to try and figure out what type of team they are. They can watch it on tape, pero syempre, iba talaga when you play against them in person.
Well, earlier we saw, Pao, how KingWhale was the one dictating the tempo of the game. As I said earlier, Black Mamba Army were the more veterans in that match, pero they weren't able to execute well. I guess playing against Creamline will just probably think, you know, we're the ones who are more seasoned, more experienced at this level, at this elite level of volleyball, and this is our territory. We're gonna make sure we go home with that win.
Well, you know what? We're going to talk a bit more about them when we return, because after the break, we'll find out more about the Taiwanese guest team in the PVL Invitational Conference. Stay tuned. You're watching the game. watching the game. The PVL foreign guest team, KingWhale Taipei, made a thrilling debut against the Army Black Mamba earlier today. KWT took the match in 3 sets in the PVL semifinals to get to know more about KingWhale Taipei. We hear from the analyst of that matchup, Z Hervasio. Z, so many whale jokes I want to do, but we won't do it. Okay, I think the first thing that you noticed, and well, I noticed also covering the game for Smart Giga Play, is that napakabata yung lineup na to. You see it in the way they move, you see it in the way that they carried themselves, and the excitement level for them was through the roof, especially in that first frame.
That's right, Pao. If we notice, this is actually a team whose score is actually university.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Taipei City University, there you go. So
Yeah.
a lot of student athletes, they have 2 imports, one Mongolian raised in Japan and
Yeah.
another Brazilian
Yeah.
who's actually the highest scorer earlier in their match against Army. So especially coming in the semi-final round with their youth backing them up, talagang fresh legs, fresh everything, their movement, they're not, tired from the long elimination round series, and it's definitely exciting to see how they're gonna play in their next matches.
A lot of people fell in love with the play of their captain and their setter, Yi Jianyao, number 12 for them, and just for the way that she was so active, especially in that first frame. What did you see from her? And is she someone to worry about in particular if you're any of the other teams that are going to go match up with them?
Actually, I heard from the coverage earlier also how there were Filipinos who are already fans of
KingWhale.
KingWhale and their number 12 setter. And actually, what I liked about her was she always jump sets. She plays defense really well. Kulang na lang siguro a little fine-tuning with her sets, especially going to the pin hitters. Kasi parang napansin ko, out of system, out of place pa yung hitters niya kanina. But once she masters that, oh my gosh, they're definitely someone to look out for.
You look at how they played a while ago against Army, and it's a lot of people will be like, okay, so how do they play? What is their identity as a team, and is that something we can adapt or something we're gonna have a problem with? Or what did you see from this KingWhale team stylistically that you think is maybe a bit different from what we're used to here in the Philippines?
Actually, there's not much difference on that side, Pao. Hindi sila kalakihan. So they're more or less just about our size. I guess the huge factor will definitely be their youth. Their stamina at this point in the semi-final round. Kasi yun nga, kanina first game pa lang nila. Although they will play 4 games in the next 6 days. So we'll see how they will adapt to that tight schedule, especially semi-final round. Every match is very important kasi the top 4 teams will play either battle for third or in the championship series.
Well, of course, when you look at what they've done, and we're gonna bring up their schedule in just a bit kasi syempre 4 games in 6 days, you talk about the stamina, it's always gonna be tough. On Tuesday, they're playing against PLDT, then Creamline on Friday, then on Saturday, the Cignal HD Spikers. So, one of the other things that's going to be interesting is that the winner of this, the highest ranked local team, will be representing the Philippines in the AVC. Now, of course, a lot of stories have been mentioned about it as we take a look at the schedule a while ago of KingWhale. A lot has been mentioned about what team are going to be sending to the AVC. But then, for whoever is the team that will represent the Philippines here, I think it's safe to say that we're going to expect a big challenge for them in this particular competition.
Yeah, definitely. Because again, even if you mentioned how the top team will or might be able to play in the ABC, we still don't know because we still haven't heard confirmation from these teams. But at the end of the day, we just hope that whoever represents Philippines in the ABC Cup will bring their A game. I hope they're not too fatigued out from this conference yet. I hope they, play and gel as one, even if it's like a last-minute change.
We actually have the statement here from the PNBF here for the AVC champions. Let's take a look at that here. According to them, the champion of the ongoing Premier Volleyball League Invitational Cup will represent the country in the AVC for women that starts in 2 weeks at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. So at least they don't have to travel. The Philippine National Volleyball Federation decided on Sunday morning after I mean, when you look at it, that had 12 players from National University that weren't able to be part of that. So again, it's going to be an interesting end to this entire competition, and I'm sure it's another incentive there for whoever
Definitely.
is a top-ranked team to represent the Philippines in the ABC. All right, see, you have one whale joke to go before take it away.
Yes, Whale, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zier Basho.
Whale, whale, whale. That's it for today. I'm Paolo de Rosario, and this has been The Game.